Good afternoon. We're following breaking news out of Rochester in the town of Webster, where just a couple minutes ago, police said they believe that one shooter shot and killed 2 firefighters. Law enforcement say they have found a man who they believe is the shooter dead on a nearby beach. Firefighters were just trying to put out a fire in the town of Webster, which is just east of Rochester, when someone inside the home began shooting at them. This was the fiery scene where flames spread from a car that was apparently on fire to multiple homes. Police have asked nearby residents to stay away from windows and doors. News 4's Rich Newberg is on the way to the scene. If he's not there already, he joins me now live on the phone with all the latest details. Rich, good afternoon. What can you tell us?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Nalina. Law enforcement officers are telling me a man believed to be the shooter has been found dead on the beach, and I'm hearing that he died apparently of self-inflicted wounds. I'm told the man has a long, violent criminal history and served time in state prison. Town of Webster firefighters had been called to a car fire. That's how this all started this morning. It apparently was a trap. When they arrived, they started taking gunfire. The car fire then spread to the homes. 4 firefighters were hit by bullets. 2 were killed. I'm told one who died was an off-duty police lieutenant from the town of Webster, who volunteers also as a firefighter. The second who lost his life is a firefighter for the city of Rochester, who also volunteers for the Webster Fire Department. One of the wounded is the paid municipal 911 dispatcher. We don't have much information on the 4th victim of gunfire. I'm also told that an off-duty officer was injured, but did not take gunfire. Now, we don't know if anyone has been injured in the homes that caught fire. We do know 4 homes were destroyed. 4 other homes were damaged. This is a quaint beach community on Irondequoit Bay, where the bay meets Lake Ontario. One resident I talked with just minutes ago, who lives right off of Lake Road, where the incident occurred, was frightened, but she didn't know what was happening when she woke up. But she had heard a gunman had been on the loose, so now we have learned that the man believed to be the gunman is dead. Now, I will continue to obviously put everything we know that's new on our website, WIVB.com, and we'll have the very latest at 5 and 6. Melina, back to you.
Okay, Rich, thank you so much. And I just want to point out that Governor Andrew Cuomo also just said a statement a couple minutes ago. He said all of our thoughts and prayers go out to the families and friends of those who knew those who were killed. And he says this senseless act of violence.
Right now on News 4 at 5, a Christmas Eve tragedy down the thruway near Rochester. A gunman opens fire on firefighters. Tonight, 2 rescuers are dead. 2 others fight for life in a Rochester hospital.
Both are significantly injured. They're both in our intensive care unit. Both did sustain gunshot wounds.
I'm not aware of anything of this in my 23 years with the town of Webster.
News 4's live coverage starts right now.
Live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4 at 5.
Multiple firemen down. Multiple firemen shot. I am shot.
So it's a very difficult situation.
Cries for help from a fire call that turned into a murder scene. It's a Christmas tragedy that has shaken even the very top of the Webster Police Department. Good evening. Volunteer firefighters stepped into a trap. Police say a gunman, convicted of killing his own grandmother more than 30 years ago, opened fire on rescuers as they showed up to battle a house fire along Lake Ontario. 2 firefighters were killed. 2 were injured, along with an off-duty police officer. And the fire ended up spreading quickly, destroying 7 homes in this upscale neighborhood. And these are the faces of the firefighters who did not survive. Tomas Kazauka was a 911 dispatcher who volunteered his time with the West Webster Fire Department. Volunteer firefighter Mike Chipperini was also a lieutenant with the Webster Fire Department. He was named Firefighter of the Year just 2 weeks ago. And this is the man who police say ambushed them, 62-year-old William Spangler, a convicted felon who later took his own life. Again, all this unfolded this morning north of Rochester in Webster. News 4 senior correspondent Rich Newberg is there. He's been gathering information from police all afternoon. Rich?
Lou, it was a chaotic scene here in Webster. Houses burning, first responders shot, and firefighters simply unable to put out fires. Now, authorities tell us that this Christmas Eve tragedy was caused by a man who set a trap for firefighters. He set his own house on fire first, they say, and then torched a car. And then he waited for the first responders to come on the scene. William Spangler had been convicted in 1981 of killing his grandmother with a hammer. He served 18 years in prison. Authorities say he shot 4 firefighters, killing 2, and then shot himself. His body was found on the beach. His sister lived in his house with him. He recently lost his mother, we learned. Now, she is missing, the sister. Houses kept on burning, but firefighters could not put out the flames when Spangler was still on the loose. Again, he had shot 4 firefighters, so residents simply watched in horror.
It's horrific. We have a friend down there. One of my daughter's really good friends is just a couple houses to the left of here, and we've been calling her. They're not answering.
We watched the flames move to another house, and over time it moved. We watched it spark the roof of a 3rd house, and it was just horrifying watching it go from house to house.
Until we can get into those homes and see, God, I'm hoping that everyone was able to escape from the inferno, and those houses are close together.
Right now on News 4.
Multiple firemen down. Multiple firemen shot. Iron shot.
A Christmas Eve tragedy, and tonight, a community in mourning.
Shock, sadness, devastation, because you just don't expect it to happen.
2 volunteer firefighters are dead and another 2 in the hospital after being lured into a death trap.
These people get up in the middle of the night to go put out fires. They don't expect to be shot and killed.
Now, News 4 at 11.
Good evening. I'm Emily Guggenmist.
And I'm Lou Ragoose. Don and Jackie are off tonight.
It's a dangerous job, but you don't expect the danger to come from, somebody shooting at the people who are supposed to be saving others.
2 firefighters are dead after police say a man set a trap for first responders earlier this morning. Tonight, a community has come together to lean on one another as this, what's supposed to be a holy night, was shattered by evil.
They were volunteer firefighters who were responding to a house and car on fire just around 6 this morning in Webster, a community nestled on Lake Ontario. News 4's Rich Newberg has been tracking this tragedy all day long and joins us live in Webster. Rich, what can you tell us?
Well, first of all, of course, this is a tragic night. 2 firefighters are gone, 3 first responders wounded. Homes are in ruins and the shooter is dead. This community is in mourning on this Christmas Eve. This is what neighbors in Webster saw after being awakened by a 911 automated phone call, warning them to stay inside.
And we looked out our bedroom window and we could see the flames, which were on the spit of land just across the water from us.
The fire kept spreading to more homes, but firefighters could not respond because 62-year-old William Spangler, say authorities, had begun shooting at firefighters when they arrived. He was shooting from an embankment. He had set a trap for an ambush.
There was a car and a house that were engulfed in flame, probably set by Mr. Spangler, who laid in wait with armament and then shot first responders.
Volunteer firefighter Mike Ciparini, a past chief and just named Firefighter of the Year, was killed. He was also a lieutenant in the Webster Police Department. Tomas Kazufka had been a 911 dispatcher and a volunteer with the West Webster Fire Department. He also lost his life. 2 other firefighters were wounded by gunfire. An off-duty police officer from Greece, New York, was wounded from debris when his car was hit by a bullet.
Never in my career, I spent almost 29 years in my police career, if I see anything like this. It is unspeakable and unthinkable to think this happened.
Spangler had served 18 years in prison for killing his grandmother with a hammer. News 4 has obtained these pictures of the ruins of Spangler's house. There is a concern that his sister may have perished inside. 6 other homes were destroyed. At least 3 others were damaged. This is still a crime scene.
Until we can get into those homes and see, God, I'm hoping that everyone was able to escape from the inferno, and those houses are close together.
And now the vigil here at the fire hall, and the reflection of heroes whose lives were lost and those who were wounded.
Right now we're organizing what we need to do to bury 2 of our members.
Our local men died for a senseless reason, just just because someone was angry.
People tried to comfort each other on Christmas Eve. Condolences have been pouring in from across the country, and even the younger generation holds out hope that our country can somehow find a solution to stop tragedies like this from happening again.
I am worried, but I think that we all can get together and stand for ground and take control before it gets out of control.
We are a strong people, and we have some great leaders in this state and this county, and we're going to pick up the pieces and go forward.
And Governor Andrew Cuomo called first responders heroes who selflessly rushed toward danger, he said, to keep our families safe. Reporting live in Webster, Rich Newberg, News 4 at 11.
Thank you, Rich. Tonight, the two other firefighters shot are both in guarded condition.
Doctors say they're in intensive care, but awake and alert. Joseph Hostetter and Theodore Scardino were both injured in the melee and remain at the University of Rochester Medical Center on this Christmas Eve. Dr. Nicole Sampson says both firefighters have bullets lodged in their bodies.
Mr. Scardino has a missile retained in the front part of his chest that eventually will work its way to the surface and may need to be removed, but was not removed at this time because removing it at this time would actually do more harm than just leaving it alone. For Mr. Hostetter, the missile is actually embedded in one of his spine bones, so that certainly is not removed and likely will never be removed.
Doctors say the injuries are very serious and both have a long road to recovery, but both are expected to recover. An off-duty officer from another police department was also injured from flying debris, and he was treated and released.
We'll continue to follow this story. Police still don't know if anyone was inside the homes that were destroyed. We have much more, including a photo gallery at WIVB.com.